So I hope that you enjoyed the first video about how to create a topographic profile. We're going to continue on our lesson here to figure out how to draw or add geology to that topographic profile. So before you get started, you're going to need to copy these geologic explanations that are present here in this top image. You'll find a digital image of this provided in the video description as well as on Blend. So copy that down first before you get started, and you're also going to need another sheet of paper or the same paper that you utilized in the topographic profiling activity. As you can see here, I've already started, or I've already copied the topographic profile down here. I got a little jaggedy, but you get the gist of it there. Now, in order for me to do or to copy the geology up here, I'm going to infer based on what I see here at the surface from A to B, what's happening down here. And I'm going to do it the same way, relatively, that I did the topographic profile. I'm going to take my paper. Now again, you see my marks here. That was from the topography. Please don't use the same side that you mark the topography on, because so many times students will make marks here, and then when they drag it down, they'll go, wait a minute, what does that mark mean? Don't do that, just use the other side. I know, simple things, because that will help you in keeping track. And what I'm going to go ahead and do here is we need to mark any time where two contacts meet on the A to B line. So let me make sure it's flush here, because we want it, it's key for it to be as perfect as possible so that I get a better illustration at the bottom, or we hope. So I'm going to see here, I see blue marks here, it makes contact here, it makes contact here, 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 and right here. Now to help me, what I normally do is I'm going to say, well, this is all that blue stuff, that blue shale. So I'm going to color that in. And then I'm going to say, well, the orange part, that sandstone, I'm going to go ahead and color it in as well. So this is all orange stuff. This is orange stuff. And the other two spaces are that red-ish, I guess we'll say it's a limestone here. So I'm just going to color that in just so that we can see it for illustrative purposes, because it'll help us in a moment when we get to the actual drawing at the bottom. Now we do the same thing as the topography, as we're going to drag it down, except this time I don't have any elevation, so I can't just stop at 800. What I'm looking for in this case is anytime one of these blue marks where the contacts are meeting crosses the topography line that I've drawn down here. So what I mean is, we're going to drag here, and I'm going to try to do it slowly so we can see. And you should see, okay, well, right here at the top, you see that line is making contact with the topography line. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that with my blue marker. Let me make sure it's flush. So we're going to mark this is blue. Okay, and then I'm going to keep dragging, watching all my blue dashes, because I'm trying to find where they're going to make contact. Oh, and we see two of them are making contact right now. Perfect. Let me make it flush again to make sure. Yeah. So I've got one here making contact, and I've got one here making contact. Okay, so that's fine. Now we're going to keep going. And I've got to watch here because there's going to be one on the right hand and one on the left hand side. So see, this one made contact. This one made contact. So now we've got one left. So we're going to drag until it makes contact right here. Perfect. Now what I do is, to help me remember where the explanations are, because now I just have a bunch of blue dots, I want to color in the spaces. Well, I know that, see, this blue dot to this blue dot, that's all blue stuff. So I color that in blue. I know from this blue dot to this blue dot, it's blue stuff, because blue stuff. This is all orange. This is also blue. Okay, let me get a different color now. Let's do the orange. So this is orange. Orange, perfect. Okay, and our last color is that nice lilac, lavender. I guess lilac would be a darker purple. Don't question me. It does look very lavender. I'm not sure. I guess that would be considered still lilac. Guess we'll find out. Someone will let us know. Now I've got my explanations down. Now, some of them might be a little tricky here to see. So let me just color this in a little darker so we can see this blue here. So blue. What we need to do now is figure out, because we know that they relatively reside in layers. But we need to figure out where those layers are. We know what's happening at the surface, but we want to know what's happening in this blank space. And we're going to infer that based on where the layers make contact with the contour lines, or where it makes contact with this surface. You're going to take your ruler here, and you're going to try to connect the dots. So I see blue starts here. Oh, that looks pretty good. So I have a blue, blue, and a blue. That's pretty well lined up. So what I want to do is I'm going to draw a line here, like that. Now I'm not going to draw a line here because that's open space. I don't care about that. So that's pretty good. So that's one blue line. Now the other blue line, I see I've got a dot here and a dot there, but I've got a dot way up here. So clearly I might have made a mistake. The drawing might have been not perfect. That's okay. I need to figure out where in the middle it might be. So let's kind of tilt it a little bit. And we're going to say that based on our observations, this is somewhere in the middle of those 2 points. That's okay. We're going to do our best as our ability because it's okay. So you can see it's slightly slanted and there's a little extra blue space here and here. That's fine. It just means that I might not have gotten right on that line when I drew it. Now what that tells me is this is blue. Perfect. And what the rest is. So this is going to be purple. And this is going to be purple. I'm not going to color it all in because I don't want to waste all my marker ink. And then this is all orange that you can see there. And that would be what the inferred what the inferred geology would be underneath. Now, of course, we also have to take into account a few points. If the layers were in the correct, following the law of superposition, meaning if orange was the oldest one and it's on the bottom, perfect. If purple was the oldest one, then this wouldn't make sense because orange is on the bottom. And orange can't be on the bottom if purple's the oldest because that's the law of superposition. So pay attention to your laws to ensure that you're following them correctly. Another one that comes up a lot is what happens if I added, so let's say this valley right here, right? And this valley here. If I added a little stream, right? That kind of came through here, something like that. When that stream is passing through, let's say it's depositing quaternary alluvium. A-L-Q-A-L, quaternary alluvium. Well, quaternary alluvium is a river deposit, so it's not going to show up in a layer. So I'm not going to have like a layer of alluvium. Alluvium only appears at the surface. So if it was happening in this valley, I might say, well, here's a little quaternary alluvium based on the stream. Now remember, it's more heavy on the side that is on the inside of the bend because that's where most of the sediment is going to be deposited. But that's what we covered. So we've covered how to take the geology from this aerial view and infer what the actual layers look like in a cross-section from the A to B line. We talked about that the layers need to still follow the law of superposition, as well as they need to ensure that if I have a river deposit such as quaternary alluvium, that doesn't appear in a layer. So great work, Classa Raptors. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.